Welcome everybody to Tectonic Takes. I actually have a really special guest here today.
Ooh.
All you guys know him. Es una locura. Bienvenido. Welcome aboard, Fernando Fiore. How you doing today?
Déjame, let me put the special effects sound.
Okay. Exactly.
What a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm so happy, and it's a real honor to be able to be with you guys and having fun talking about something that we all love, football, soccer, and the history of this amazing sport that is more and more getting into the veins and the hearts of all of us here in the U.S.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful game. I mean, thank you again for taking the time out of your day to talk to all of us. I know we're not that big of a fan base in San Jose, but thank you for taking
Are you crazy,
your time.
Man? One fan is more than enough to be able to share our passion, our love.
That's true.
Our experience. Please, it's a pleasure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the number. It's such a pleasure to be building the history of the U.S. in my case for the last 40 years. So,
yeah, and
it's great.
I know everybody that's listening to this is going to know who you are, but if they don't know who you are, where can they find you on Twitter or anything?
Well, I've been doing this the communication business for the last 35 years, and now I work in Spanish television with Telemundo and Univision for 25 years, so a little less than half of my life, and then I was lucky enough to be able to work also in the general market with Fox Sports starting in 2016. So it's a wonderful experience in both languages. Obviously, my roots are from Argentina and Uruguay, my family, and the Latino base. Exactly. You have somos de Rio de la Plata. You have the same Rio de la Plata.
Wow.
Ancestors. So for me, it's a great honor, like I said, to be part of this movement of communication, especially for our Latino community.
Yeah. Oh, Fernando.
And then when I get the chance also to do the famous crossover that many people talk about, but for me it was a surprise because I didn't expect to do it. And but then again, I'm glad that we were able to reach a different audience. And now I've been working. Well, COVID really derailed some of the projects, but I've been working with Bein Sports in English and Spanish. I was working with Fox until 2019, doing Gold Cup and so on. So we'll see what's going to happen next. Right. And I'm working also in Tigo Sports. I have my show in Central America, in Honduras and El Salvador. And I also very busy with the social media, Twitter. In Twitter, they can find me at Fernando Fiore, and Instagram is Fiore Oficial, as well as in Fernando Fiore Oficial in Facebook. I also am the voice, one of the commentators and ambassador of the Inter Miami team of the MLS. So yes, David Beckham is my boss, and we were lucky enough, although with COVID last year, that we were able to broadcast every single game from our stadium, because we have the studio, the radio studio, and the app. studio right at the stadium.
Oh wow!
So we did all the games. We did all the games from our beautiful brand new stadium, and all the games that the home and away. We did it from there, and unfortunately we weren't able to do a lot of in-person training sessions or travel with the team, but we were able to at least be part and be able to broadcast live, watching the game on our stadium, every single home game, and then the away games we had to do it over the TV. But it was a great first year. We have a wonderful support from our fans. Many of the people around the world that they were able to watch the games in the app, in the Inter Miami app. So it was a great experience also. So that's what I'm doing nowadays. We are waiting now for April 18 to get our first game home against the beloved LA Galaxy.
No, the wrong podcast.
I'm sorry. They hated LA Galaxy.
Yeah, we used to be rivals until LAFC came, right? So
that's right. But the California Derby is always going to be there, right?
The California Clásico.
Yeah, the Clásico will be always there between you guys and the Galaxy. With another rival in town. Now he gets 3 teams from the same state.
Right.
A little bit. It happens with Orlando. We hate Orlando because they hate us probably.
Right.
And that's why we have the rivalry with Orlando.
Yeah.
The Inter Miami. We just don't like them especially because it's close and we have the chance. We will have the chance eventually to go to the away games and they can come over to our stadium also.
Definitely.
So the rivalry will be there.
Yeah, and you just moved, right? Do you want to show all the fans your beautiful view? Is that something we can get? A little sneak peek?
No. I don't want to show because then they say, "Oh my God, he's having the greatest time of his life, and he just goes to the beach every day." Trust me, he's good.
Okay.
He's good.
Well, yeah, Fernando lives right in front of the beach. I mean, look, he's the Florida king. He got to live in front of the beach. That's what I'm saying. So.
That's absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Look at that. Enfrente de la playa. Siempre.
Sí. So. Look how important are you guys. I'm not at the beach. I'm talking to you. So you see, you're very important in my life.
You get to cover a club in front of the beach. I mean, San Jose is nice. It's just not that nice. Okay, so
different view.
So our first question comes from Taylor, and he asked, "What do you do for your mustache, and how is it so perfect?"
Well, the mustache has been part of my life pretty much since I grew up. So I start to grow. My father used to have a mustache. Rest in peace. And my grandfather also was have a mustache. So. And I don't know, maybe because I have a big nose, I decided to distract a little bit the view to my mustache. So I pretty much have it since I left high school. For 1 year banned because I was at the Air Force in Argentina. It was a mandatory. It was mandatory back then in the late 70s. So I have to go 1 full year to the Air Force, and they didn't allow facial hair, so I have to shave my mustache then. But pretty much after that, I have it all the time. I shave it a couple of times, but you know what? Funny because I was doing theater back in New York in the early '80s, and I have one person that he was in charge of the department of facial hair for the Broadway shows, and he offered to give it to me a fake mustache that was just like mine. So he prepared one just in case that when I shave, I have my mustache just in case, and I still have it. The other day I saw it. I still have it around there. I know it's around here. When I move, I look at it and say, I still have this fake mustache that it was done in 1983, I think, or 82. But it was a famous makeup artist.
Yeah.
He was working in a big company that he was doing all these props for the Broadway shows.
Yeah.
Beers and wigs and mustard, everything that had to do with facial hair. He was in charge of that, and he was my theater teacher professor. And he says, "Listen, I will do one for you, so you have it. So if you have to shave for something and then you need it for another play, or you will have it." So it's funny. So the mustache has been taken care of by myself for the last 50 years. 45.
You don't put any product on it, like some oil?
Oh, No. Yeah. That I never had any problem with the mustache. When we were doing Fuera de Serie, because it was an outdoor show and the sun was out. But when I started, this is something that I always tell everybody, and I always wanted to make sure that people know. When we started República Deportiva in Univision in 1999, they said, "Listen, your mustache look good when you are outside with a natural light, but in the studio with the lights on, it's a lot of white there. So either you shave it or you put something." And I decided to start to use Just for Men, and it was perfect. But I started in 1999, and people usually think that it's my natural color, but it's not. I retouch it every 3 weeks or so, and sometimes I leave it completely white. Doesn't matter to me. But sometimes, for continuity with some campaigns, commercial campaigns, that we have to get it darker. Yeah. So I still use Just for Men, and I try to be a spokesperson for Just for Men for so many years, but we never come to terms.
Wow.
They never offer me enough
that makes sense.
To tell the people. So I'm just doing this as a favor for them. Yeah. But it's been a great product. Just for Men has been a great product, and it's good.
Yeah, and if you want to know Fernando Fiore's secrets, listen to this right here.
No. That's right. It's not a secret anymore. Actually, it was never a secret. The thing that it was so perfect, the blend was so good, the color, that people didn't notice.
Right.
And I said, it is. I remember the makeup artist at Univision. I said, I tell everybody. I wanted to tell everybody that I'm using Just for Men, and I would love to be. Look at this. Look at this. We did something like that. So we tell them, listen, you can have it like this, white, or you can use Just for Men to do this. But unfortunately, we're still looking for a sponsorship.
Right. I gotta give him a call and be like, "Hey, do you know who this guy is?"
We should bombard. Just for Men and tell them. Tell all the fans of San Jose to call Just for Men and send them in Twitter. Say, listen, we need Fernando Fiore to be the spokesperson. It's funny, man. It's funny. We did this many years ago, and we were definitely trying hard, because I said, listen, especially the Latinos, right. They don't want to admit that they do the colors, and the problem is that I know, because a lot of colleagues were doing, and I remember here in Miami, rest in peace, the guy that he used to paint his mustache, but these particular products are really good blending, so it was fine. It was fine for TV.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for letting us in on that. Maybe one day, I'm gonna have to use it too. So I want my own Fernando Fiore Just for Men box. All right.
Exactly. We all should call them.
Right.
Let them know.
Perfect. So right before we started recording this, Fernando actually was gonna go prepare his hot water for some mate. So we're on the same page here. I still haven't gotten my mate yet.
I should check it out.
Right. So I was gonna go get my mate, because I need Leo to see that, waking up, seeing a Uruguayan in the household, he needs to have a little bit of Uruguay in him. So first thing I'm gonna do is gonna get a mate for Leo one of these days and make it a rite of passage. But as we wait for Fernando Fiore to come back with his hot water, we're going to see his beautiful mate and see what he has in store. For all you guys that don't know, Uruguayans, Argentinians, and maybe a little bit of Brazilians drink some mate. Paraguayans drink mate, but it's hot or it's cold water instead of hot water. So that's like the biggest difference. You see guys like Messi and Suarez
I'm back.
around with mate. Yeah, Fernando's back. Good. All right, perfect. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's see.
Thank God you remind me. Thank God you remind me.
And for all you listeners that don't know what mate is, it's a drink that a lot of Rio de la Plata, like Fernando was saying, these people drink because it's a caffeine, it's a cultural
infusion. It's a regular infusion. Pretty much like tea.
Perfect. Yeah. So mi abuela used to drink it con azúcar. She used to drink it with sugar.
Many people drink it with sugar. Yeah. Some people drink it without any sugar. Some other people drink it with little sugar. Some people put an orange on it or different herbs.
Yeah, I was telling all the listeners here that Paraguay, they drink it cold, so it's different than in Uruguay, Argentina type of deal. But yeah,
in Paraguay, they have a tereré, which is cold. Some part of Argentina also we have, they drink it. In Brazil, south of Brazil, the gauchos also drink a lot of mate.
Yeah, a little bit of Brazilians do too as well. All right, so perfect. You got your mate.
I'm sure Matias Almeyda got one of his at home.
Yeah, I know. He's got to be like Suarez and Messi with the mate and the hot water always with them, right? They need to be.
When you see them when they come to the games, Suarez is always coming like this.
Yeah, always.
The Uruguayans going all the way with the thermo everywhere. Argentinians not so much.
Right.
Uruguayans can drive with the mate in between the legs and driving and shifting.
Yeah. You know how many times I've seen that? A lot of times. But no, it's part of our culture. So definitely it's nice seeing Fernando drinking it right now. Perfect.
Very good.
But don't stir it too much, right? Don't stir too much.
No, just a little bit.
Just a little. Okay,
it's because I stopped a few minutes. I had another Zoom call before and the water get cold because I didn't do it at the same time. So now.
Yeah. No worries. So you said you had a show in Honduras and El Salvador. That's right, Fernando. And yesterday, we found out a pretty bad result for the United States.
For us, pretty bad. For them, pretty good.
Yeah, right. So a lot of your fans in Honduras are probably going crazy right now.
They are very happy, believe me, very, very happy. Yes, we have a show that we started last year during COVID, and we started a show called Palabra de Presidente, the word of the president, and it is it's a really good show in terms of a personal life and stories that I do for them. It's once a week. We do it in Honduras and El Salvador. We do interviews with friends of mine, and it's funny because two of my guests last year are good friends of Matias Almeyda.
Oh wow!
One is Christian Vieri, and the other one, even that they are very close friends with Lele Adani, which they used to play together in Italy, and they are like brothers. And Lele Adani, which he used to play in Fiorentina, a little bit in Inter. And they are very, very good brothers with Matias. And I don't know Matias personally. And I told Lele last year, I said, Lele, you have to connect me with Matias to do the show with him. And as they said, next year when we do the second season this year, we're probably gonna call Almeyda and do a show with him. I'm a River Plate fan, so I love Almeyda for all years.
Yeah. Well, Fernando, I'm gonna call the Quakes organization and I'm gonna say, wait, why can't we get Fernando Fiore in on these calls? Like we need some contact, right? I mean,
we have to, man.
The biggest name in right? The biggest,
and we have common friends. So we have to do that. Yeah.
So what do you think about the United States? I mean, was it their problem? I mean, the squad wasn't their A squad. Was it they just didn't have the fight in them? What'd you think? What'd you think of the game?
I was talking about this topic an hour ago. It's a very complex situation because now everybody will have their own opinion and they will have excuses all culprit and say who is responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Soccer Federation, the coach, the players, the COVID, the things that they don't want to, release the players to do the Olympics, which is not an official, obviously, FIFA tournament. But why we didn't do a little extra to get a couple of players to come over?
Yeah.
How come we are so bright and the future of the U.S. soccer is so bright because the youth and so many players are playing in Europe in the biggest teams and so on, and we cannot qualify in CONCACAF for the Olympics.
Right.
So how do we start the list to get, all the people that they should be, responsible for this? It's a very unfortunate situation. I'm sure that we are all very mad, the ones that we are, pushing for soccer to be relevant in this country.
Yeah. And that right there, I mean, this was a big step to make soccer relevant. I mean, there's not that big of tournaments going on right now. So an Olympic soccer tournament would actually probably be on Fox Soccer or Fox Sports all the time. And that's another way to get eyeballs for soccer fans in the United States. And that's a missed opportunity again for the United States.
It's so sad. I disagree with the people that they say, well, the important thing is the World Cup,
Right.
Don't be so disappointed now because actually our goal is to go to the World Cup. But you can move the post further, ahead all the time and say, well, this one doesn't matter. Let's now concentrate in the in the road to the World Cup. Because we didn't go to the last World Cup,
right?
And trying to justify and look for the next tournament,
right?
It's not a sign of developing a solid base. It will be good after the humongous disappointment of not going to Russia 2018,
right?
And lucky that we have to get a good generation of players,
right?
Pulisic and McKinney and Stephen and then Sargent and Reina. And then we should have, a good opportunity to go now to Tokyo and play in the Olympics. And now we are looking out to September to do that when we start to the CONCACAF. And then there is 50-50 chance that you go or you don't go, which it will be, I don't even want to think about it. But you have to admit that if you don't qualify for the Olympics, it doesn't grant you for sure that you're going to qualify for the next World Cup.
Right.
There are different circumstances. I agree. There is different teams, everything you want.
Yeah.
But listen, you can always think about the future, because the future is made of the things that you are doing in the recent past and the present. And you're building, one brick at a time, you bring, your house up. You can't expect that, no, we're going to go to the World Cup and the house is going to look beautiful. Right. If you don't put one brick at a time to make the house look beautiful in 2022, it's difficult to digest the elimination that we have yesterday in the hands of Honduras.
And Mexico qualifies every single time. And this isn't Mexico's A squad. So that's not even right. That's not an excuse. The only bright spot about the United States team yesterday was that goal that Jackson Ewell had, and he's our captain. So we were a little bit happy, but still.
No, you might be happy. You might be happy at least. We all know that he can get a blast out of those legs and make great goals that it will translate eventually for your team. We don't want to play each other this year. I don't think we are in the schedule to play with Inter Miami. So.
No. We play Orlando. Yeah.
You play the other team from Florida. So we don't gonna suffer you, in the regular season. Let's see if we both make it to the playoffs.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of us San Jose fans, we have other teams, so maybe we could pick Miami in the East. I mean, they like to spend a little more money than we do. They live on paradise. They got Fernando Fiore. Maybe we get, if you guys get an Uruguayo like Nico Lodeiro or Diego Rossi, maybe I have a second team. Who knows?
Diego Rossi, yes. Nico Lodeiro, not so much because he used to play for Boca. And I I like Pipita Higuaín better.
Yeah. Okay. So then looking at it, I mean, Yeah, I mean, it's a disappointment on all fronts. We're going to move into a little bit into Liga MX and MLS now. What do you think about the possible merger? I mean, what do you think about MLS and Liga MX maybe playing together in a tournament? No, it's all talk. All talk.
I think it's a lot of talk. Because sports and football and our football soccer, we need to be in the front page of the news every day, because there are so many things going on around the world that, you know, marketing wise and promotion wise, and because we have competition for all the other American sports, that they you know, everything they do, they're gonna make it the front page. You know, $11 billion for the NFL rights, front page. LeBron James trying to buy the Boston Reds, front page. You know, even it's difficult sometimes. Maybe NHL is the one who's not making front page news. But and with all due respect to the NHL fans, but in terms of that, we need to create news and eyeballs every day. So, okay, let's talk about the Liga MX and MLS. I will say personally, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Yeah. But it's not gonna be, you know, in the near future. Yeah. There have to be a lot of steps to make sense to combine these two leagues that they are far apart. Logistics. Logistics have to be really, details that they have to be ironed, and we don't even have a pro and relegation. Now Mexico doesn't have the relegation either for a couple of years. We don't know what's going to happen. The structure of our league, the MLS, as we know, is an umbrella completely different of every single entity and franchise like is in Mexico, with separate owners, with different salary caps and this. So there's a ton of details to iron before we can say now is the Liga MLS MX. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon.
And I think it
makes great news though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with a little bit with the Chicago Fire thinking, man, imagine if we got Leon here or, Chivas, we would sell out a stadium, because it's hard to sell out a stadium with just Chicago Fire, So it's probably those owners just, chomping at the bit to get some sort of that, that Mexican support from their cities. So.
Well, yeah, but the flavor of the fans, if you buy a couple of players from those countries, or from Mexico, from Colombia, it's been a part of the of the strategy of the MLS from the very beginning. If you have a team in Florida, in Miami, you contract a couple of players from Argentina, from Brazil, from Colombia, and then you have all those communities going into the stadium. If you are from Dallas or Chicago, you bring Pavel Pardo, Cuauhtémoc Blanco, and you have tons of people, going to the stadium, and the same thing, with San Jose or with Galaxy, or we bring Carlos Vela. All the Mexicans will go to see the Galaxy. We bring Chicharito. No, they're all gonna go to see. LAFC before, and now Chicharito. You get all the Galaxy Mexican fans. The same thing happened when Chivas USA. And they say, we bring Claudio Suarez, Trujillo, and a couple more, and everybody, Paco Palencia. So, it's easier doing that, getting a couple of players from the community, than trying to mix the two leagues.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and a lot of people say that we're Chivas USA now because we have Almeida, we have Fierro, we have Alanis. Now Chofis Lopez,
exactly.
Right?
So you got a Chofis. But now, and now you brought another player that I used to watch in River, Abecasis.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He used to play in River Plate, and he was a good player back then. And a couple of things happened that derailed him from that stardom that he was trying to reach. I wish him the best. I wish him the best now with you guys. There were difficult times with River. We know that at that time, and Almeyda, first when they went to the second division, and then he was coaching. So we'll see what happens now. But I wish him the best to Abecasis.
Yeah, and what would you say? Because a lot of us fans don't really know what his play style is. Was he fast? Was he very technical? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, like I said, that was that was many years ago, 2011, when he was playing in River Plate, and it was difficult times for River. But for what I remember, he was trying to break in, like I said, to be a major part of River, but he didn't quite get into that. And then he was traded, and I lost contact with him. So when I saw the other day that you brought Luciano Becasis, I said, like, oh my God, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I remember him back then. So I have to go Wikipedia and see how old he is, and what were his clubs recently. And I was looking and I said, oh my God, the guy was doing a couple of different rounds around, but whatever I remember for 2011, it doesn't translate to how he's gonna play now 2021. So leave it like that. It's just a memory.
Yeah. Okay. And did you know? Of course, you knew about San Jose earthquakes before.
I'm sorry. Remedy on the other hand, Eric Remedy, because I saw him playing lately,
in Atlanta,
in Atlanta, and we play Atlanta several times,
right?
So that's a player that I might, that I was kind of surprised why Atlanta let it go, because I saw him play, especially when they play against us, and it was he was performing very good, and he got experience of being in the MLS already. It's a different situation with Luciano. See, this is a guy who's already adapted here.
Yeah.
He already won championships with Atlanta.
Yeah.
He knows the league. He knows what's going on. And I was looking the other day that they were talking about the preseason with Almeyda and the double shift of the training sessions in Santa Barbara and so on. So he's more used to what's going on than adapting now to your team, to San Jose, and the new coach. Remember that Atlanta, after Martino, it wasn't the same at all. It changed a lot of the perception as a team, and they didn't have last year. They didn't have a good performance, and didn't do well at all. I saw them play, and Cubo Torres and Jürgen Damm. They weren't players that they didn't make the difference that they might expected, in Atlanta. They lost Joseph Martinez with the injuries
and Almiron
back. But still, Remedy, it was a good player that you might get a benefit of an experienced player in the MLS.
Yeah, and my first thoughts about that transfer was that, man, this is a really cheap transfer.
That's what I'm saying. I was surprised. For
someone that has a lot of already MLS experience and played for Almeyda before at Banfield, this is a player that possibly could do a lot better for us too. So, and we were hoping that, Jackson Ewell would go to the Olympics, but now we're going to have him too. So this San Jose team actually might do some damage in the West, because we do have that depth now that we didn't have last year.
Yeah. And you mentioned Banfield, Almeyda that was another good stint of Almeyda. Yeah. Not only with Banfield, and obviously we all know about Chivas. All these young coaches, you can say, like Almeyda, including there, and Savarese also with Portland, and Pareja, it's a little older, but all these players, Diego Alonso last year with us in Inter Miami, they benefit a lot when they bring players that they were playing under them in another team before, that they know them well and they know how can they react to the MLS, or what do they expect from them from the MLS. Not all the time it's going to be an instant success. Bringing, for example, Pizarro. He still is trying. He's struggling here in Miami, and he started with a lot of hoopla, and then all the trips with the national team, going to Europe, coming back, COVID, and so on. and the critics that he have, because he's been criticized so much in Mexico that he doesn't belong to the national team. I'm sure that affects him, and trying to be a different player when he gets to our team.
Right.
With these things, I'm telling you that it's a lot of things that going on when you bring a player that they have no experience in MLS. And in this case with Remedy, hopefully you will have a duel there.
And he already knows how the travel works. I mean, that's a very gruesome scheduling thing, because the United States is so big compared to like England, or I mean, Argentina is pretty big too, but United States.
No, but Argentina is close. All the teams are pretty much in Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
The further you have to go, usually it's a 2-hour flight. To Mendoza, or not even Cordoba.
Yeah.
It's a close by. It's nothing like here.
Okay. Going back to CCL, what do you think a MLS team has to do to win the CCL eventually? LAFC got really close. I mean, Carlos Vela put that team on his back. Talking about Pizarro a little bit, Carlos Vela has become like poster child, golden boy of MLS transfers, and maybe Pizarro works out. Maybe I mean, Chovy Lopez works out in the same way, so we'll find out. Yeah. Hopefully,
especially for me, especially Pizarro. For you, especially Chovy. The question was, what do we need to do? Get a little more lucky, maybe. I know that you have to help your luck to get, the ultimate, goal and get the championship. But I feel somehow that lately it was, we were so close and right there in the last minute that, when the ball can bounce either way, and they always bounce the way the Mexican teams, and Almeyda can testify that, and last year the LAFC can testify that it was unfortunate because they were so close. And then again, then if you don't win, it gets, the backpack gets heavier and heavier all the time, because you feel the pressure more and more. And then logical, all the pundits and all the Mexican press will go, you see, the MLS is still far behind us, but they never beat us. They never go to they are close, but they never, and now they don't go to the Olympics, and they didn't go to the World Cup. So, all those things get a little, believe it or not, or you want it or not, it's annoying, and the players feel it, the front office of the team feel it, the fans feel it also, because you're looking for revenge, you're looking to finally get it to that point that you beat the Mexican competition in the final stage, and you claim that you can beat them and go there. So every year is more difficult, but in my opinion, we are not that far. But then when you go to statistics, we are far enough, because we didn't win one single time. Right. So being close is not a real deal, man.
Right. And just thinking about what the beauty of the CCL and the MLS teams. I mean, as a San Jose fan, I was watching that LAFC game rooting for LAFC. So that's the beauty of kind of this. Everybody in MLS roots for the team that's in the final or going for the final. And it happened with Montreal. It happened with Toronto. And now with LAFC, maybe Inter Miami is going to be the first team. Who knows, right? So I can't wait.
Miracles happen. Well, this is something that is not going to happen. For example, in Argentina, we're never going to root that Boca will go anywhere, because we River fans, we want them to be real bad. So we never get behind. That's not a national team, right? And in Mexico, it happens recently with Tigres, playing in the final of the World Cup. Yeah, we're all rooting for Tigres. Not really. Some of the Mexican fans, especially Rayados, they're not rooting for Tigres. Sometimes, and I'm amazed, because I've been following the Mexican league since the beginning of República Deportiva in 1998, when I really, get, concentrated on the Mexican League. And the passion is there and the rivalry is there. But yes, like you said, with the MLS, well, if a Mexican team goes to play international, you kind of root for them, even if it's not your team.
Yeah.
With us, doesn't happen. In Argentina, in Uruguay, in South America, in Brazil, Chile, those things don't happen. Here in MLS, also because we are a fairly new league, and we try to develop, the importance of the league more than just the team. Because, for example, in my case, I saw when I was young, when the old NASL went down, and I suffered, deeply, because I said, oh, the league is going down. My New York Cosmos was going down, so the whole thing disappeared. So, at that particular moment, I was rooting for the league. I was rooting for any team to make it so we can stay there, and it didn't happen.
Right.
So now, even though the people say, oh, the MLS, but it's only 25 years. So we are only 25 years. So we are I would say, a fairly new league, compared to around the world leagues. So when you think in that terms, you want the MLS to do good.
Right.
You want the MLS to settle down and to get a representative in the World Cup, in the club's World Cup. And at the end, it's not your team, but you do care that our league
looks
goes and looks good. So we're still in that process. So hopefully we are rooting for all one team here. In Mexico, it's a little different now. They are starting to go the rivalries, and they are not all behind one team that represents the nation. In terms of US, even the teams from Canada, you want them to win because we want the league to win.
No, but I was just thinking, going over in my mind, I was like, well, but we are the gold standard for newer leagues, because out here in the J League, they look up to MLS like, oh, we need to be like MLS. We need to make sure that we get enough revenue, and we have to follow that, mantra or that style of play or style of front office, because they're doing a great job. So eventually MLS will get there, right? So we'll get that CCL championship. We'll get that representation.
Yeah. We're hard, we are trying hard. We know.
Yeah. All right. So how did you find out about the San Jose Earthquakes when you first heard about them?
Oh my God. I have a deep connection with San Jose Clash from the very beginning, before the Earthquakes.
Right.
I have a very deep connection because back then in 1999, and when we started República Deportiva, the league was fairly new, only 3 years old, and I was supporting the league from the very beginning. And I have a friend that he was working with San Jose Clash organization, and we used to have the guests on República Deportiva every week, and I was bringing MLS players all the time. Some teams were more supporting because they have more Latinos in their team, or because the PR person or the director of the press department was Latino. They were helping us more. And there are some teams, like I mentioned, the New York Red Bulls, because they have a great friend that he was the executive director of communications, Ernesto Mota. They providing us with their players for every single interview that we want to do, and the new jerseys and all the news. And San Jose Clash was one of the teams.
Oh wow!
So I have in my show, in our show in República Deportiva, we have a lot of guests. Every time they were coming to play the Fusion, in those years from 1998, 1999, when we started in 2001, every time they come to play to the Fusion, we were inviting them to come to the show live. So I remember Ronald Cerritos coming in to our show, and Mauricio Wright. They were coming to the show, and I have all my San Jose Clash original jerseys with my name, because this gentleman was always on top of that marketing and promotion, and they wanted the Clash to be on national television. So he was sending me all he used to send me all the jerseys, the new jerseys with my name on it, and I would show it on TV. So it was a good promotion for the San Jose Clash.
Right.
I remember that I went there even before República Deportiva. We were doing if I don't mistaken, we were doing Fuera de Serie in 98. And I went to, that's when I met him. And I went to San Jose, and they invited us to go to see a game to the stadium, the old stadium, the Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, Spartan.
The Spartan Stadium. So we went there, and they gave us a soccer ball with the logo and everything. So they were very helpful. And that happens in the beginning of the MLS. Like I said, especially the teams that they have a lot of Latino players or Latino that they were in the front office of, also with the DC United, for example. Rest in peace. He just passed away, Boris, that he used to be, a guy in charge of the communications at DC United. We always have everything we wanted. Their jerseys. They brought us Freddy Adu. They brought me to my show, Marcelo Gallardo, when he was playing there. So some of the teams of the MLS were so open, and I have such a great connection that I promote them like crazy. Yeah. And San Jose was one of the teams. That's why when you call me, and I say, I always have good memories about the old San Jose Clash. I don't have so many memories of the current, the San Jose Earthquakes, because it was pretty much a different time, and different situation. But in the beginning, when all the teams wanted to promote it, they were coming to us, to our show. They were coming to me. They were sending. That's why I have my collection of over 400 something jerseys, because this is just part of it. Wow. But many of the teams, they were sending me over and over and over every single jersey they have, and for me to show in the shows. And my collection is now over 400 something, and many of those over there they are probably from San Jose Clash. I was gonna say, if you find it, you got to post it. Man, imagine having a San Jose for Fernando Fiore. I think I did last year. Okay. But if I didn't, because during COVID, the first years I did a series of old jerseys. Maybe I didn't get to the one for the Clash, but I will look for it. But I have it. No, because I have it. Every box got the name on it, so I see MLS here. And, perfect. Yeah. It have to be someone around here. Yeah. He's there, believe me. No worries. But that's awesome. I mean, that's so cool that San Jose Clash did that. I mean, I understand why, but to send you a jersey every single time they had a new one, that's a great communication with them. Plenty. Red Bulls, I'm telling you, Red Bulls was the one that it was making me a fan, because then when I lost the Fusion, I was a diehard Fusion, and I hate the New York Red Bulls, but because we were, very much in the rivalry. But when the Fusion folded, then my friend, it was like the little kids when your grandparents or your godfather brings you the jersey, so you get, you're a fan of that particular team, right? And that's what they did with the Red Bulls. They sent me so much gear, everything, all the outfits, all the jackets, all the hats. We even went to a pre-season in Austria with them. So they wanted to really. That's a good marketing. That's a good communications director. That's a good promotion. You want your team to be everywhere. And back then in the early 2000s, República Deportiva was the national TV show that they was talking about the MLS every single Sunday. Yeah. So that was the way to do it. So I probably have more New York Red Bulls than any other team here, because he was giving me tons and tons and tons of that. We got the chance to interview Claudio Reyna and Thierry Henry and every single player. On top of that, the training facility of the Red Bulls was in my old university in Montclair State in New Jersey. So I have a great connection with them too. So it was kind of now that I broke his heart, because now when we got the Inter Miami, then I said, "Oh, sorry, dude. Now I have my own team, so I don't know what to do." But I still play every Saturday, with my old friends, and I still play with a Red Bull jersey, because I have so many that I have to wear them. It's like, the grandparents' jerseys that they just give you every year. That's it. So coming back to the original question. I have a good connection with the San Jose team from the very beginning.
Right.
I also have a couple of Earthquakes jerseys that they gave me, but like I said, my strong connection was with the Clash. Original with the Clash.
And that's crazy. I mean, thinking about all the Latino population in San Jose and in California, that they didn't send you more, right? Like New York has a lot, but California has a whole bunch too. So
I'm pretty sure that the Earthquakes is around here somewhere. Also,
no worries, Fernando.
I
forgot to ask you. I mean, this is a personal question, but do you have a Uruguayan team? Are you Peñarol, Nacional? Maybe
Nacional. All my family is a Bolso fan. So yeah, we are from. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I used to go to the Estadio Centenario, and watch El Clásico contra Peñarol, and I saw the players that your parents and your grandparents will remember. But back in the 70s, Manga and Mazurkiewicz and Mameli and Forlan, the father Forlan, and Ancheta, Ubiña, all those players from the 70s. The World Cup, the 1970 World Cup that Uruguay did really well in Mexico. Matosas that they also play in River Plate. So it was a lot of players from that time. And I used to go to the Estadio Centenario a lot.
Yeah. So in my family, it's my dad's a Nacional, Bolso, and then my mom is Peñarol. So yeah, right. So I had to choose. And I like Peñarol, so I'm a Peñarol fan, but I don't like Boca, so that's okay.
That would be okay, unless you really like Boca. Then we will finish this conversation right now.
But my sister is a Nacional fan, so it's right down the middle, within our family. Okay, so where do you think San Jose lands in the standings this year after Abacasis and Remedi coming to the team? Do you think they can make the playoffs?
Well, it's not with those two players only. You have to rely on the whole team. We have to be honest. If you look at the past year, the Earthquakes, after 2012, it's pretty much 8 years of suffering.
Right, like the U.S. Olympics. Yeah, and especially considering there's a lot of things that qualify for the playoffs. Right. So I know you fans in San Jose, you have a lot of struggle for many years now. So who knows how we're gonna rebound now with these two players. I know Almeyda is capable of doing a lot of miracles, and he did it in the past. So you are in the right track with a good coach, a young coach with good ideas. Then you also have a bad luck with such a nice person that I know for many years, Benjamin Galindo, getting into the battle of health wise, and that's another blow for Almeyda and the coaching staff. And so we have to see how they're gonna rebound. Last year it was heartbroken. I remember watching the game, tying the game in the very last minute. Wando. I met Wando several times, but last year I was with him in Orlando during the MLS All-Star game. We were doing something together with the MLS Works, so I had a chance to chat with Wando. And I was rooting for him because even though we are not friends, so we don't have a deep relationship, but I always like his style and very calm, quiet guy that always delivers, and I was very happy when he tied the game and everything. Right. And unfortunately, then penalty kicks didn't go well, man. They miss every single one. I don't want to remind you this. My point is that you get into the playoffs and then you exit that way, and so hopefully for you guys it will be a better season this time and try to make it to the playoffs. Certainly you added up some players that they will help. Yeah. But we have to see. Right.
I mean, again, let me check the future in my Vuvuzela crystal. Yeah. I don't know. It's a little blurry here. It's a little blurry here. I can't see well.
With a player like Chofis Lopez, I mean, the ceiling's pretty high, right? We can possibly be looking at a Zelarain type of player, maybe, you know, coming off the second team.
He's a good player. Chofis is a good player. You know, obviously, I remember him since he was a very young player, and you know, and being you know, mentioned target of the great future and the great soccer player of you know, and then we know that he didn't reach that potential,
right? But he's still a little young. He's still young.
He's still young, and he still can develop. And who knows? He can play well enough to be, you know, fundamental in the San Jose Earthquakes. And I mean, we cannot compare, but take a look of Vela, like you say. You know, he came and he made an immediate impact.
Yeah.
And different situation. I'm not comparing Chofis with Vela. Vela got experience in the biggest clubs in Europe, Arsenal, and then another teams in Sociedad in Spain and so on. So it's a different story. But to be honest, I don't think that many people expected that Vela will come to the US and make a huge impact from the very first game. Yeah. Because, for example, it didn't happen with Chicharito. Again, not trying to compare apples and pears, but you know, some players come to the MLS and not many did an excellent job like Carlos Vela did.
Yeah.
And so it was amazing. It was a great miracle. Hopefully it will happen with another players. Like I said, you're trying to repeat that with Lopez. We're trying to do some kind of that with Pizarro.
Right. Yeah. And that came right after Vela said he doesn't like soccer, right? And then he became the best player in the league.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. There are some players that they just take it as a job, you know, and, and they do a great job. I'm sure not every banker loves to work at the bank. That's true. 8 hours a day. But some of the bankers are, you know, very successful and they make tons of money and good business for the institution where they work at. And same thing happened with lawyers. Same thing happened with a lot of people that probably, you know, they are not in love with their job, but they are a good performers or a good employer.
Okay. And so Almeyda's contract is up in 2022. So next year. Do you think there's a possibility of him staying with San Jose? Or do you think that he has a trajectory that's going to take him to Europe or back to, you know, let's say,
let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. After his stint in Chivas, he got a potential array of offers because he did a great job.
Right.
5 titles in 3 years. Chivas research like Phoenix, you know, and coming from the ashes and winning, and so he was in a great position to be expected to move to a team in Argentina if he wants to go back, or a team in Europe maybe. Doesn't have to be one of the top teams, but you know, half of the table, whatever.
Yeah.
At this moment, unless he does a miraculous with San Jose, it's not going to be the same position because San Jose just qualified last year in the playoffs, which was, you know, it wasn't a great task. The same thing for us because pretty much everybody went to the playoffs. And the year before they didn't. So then again, we know that he's a great coach, but usually the results are the one who decide at the end of contracts if you will have a lot of offers. If next year San Jose is champion of the MLS, it will be one situation. Then maybe a lot of teams will look at Almeyda and say, "Hey, this guy with no many resources, not a fantastic squad, maybe become champion. So maybe we can bring him on to a team in Europe or someplace else."
Right.
If it's the other way around, then maybe the chances are that San Jose will say, "You know what, Almeyda, we give you offer another contract because you're doing a great job, but we know that you don't have a lot of resources, but you're doing the best you can with what you have.
Right.
So we believe in you, and we think that you can stay with us and make, you know, make things better, as the year progresses, and as more the team and more the league, and you got better chances to get better, different players or so on. So it's the possibility is there, and it will depend pretty much on what happened during the next 34 games or the next 7 months, and we'll see what happens.
Do you eventually want Almeyda to coach for Argentina or no?
I think they're put it this way. I think that another he's a great coach for, like I said, I'm not personally friends with Almeyda, so I don't have to tell you, and I saw his career, and he did well in River, he did well in Banfield, he did well in Chivas. He's trying to do the best he can with San Jose. So I think that he's a good coach.
Yeah.
But probably at this time, there are another coaches that are the same age or younger than him that they have more chances to be the next national team coach, the Argentinian. And the perfect, example that we have on top of my head is Gallardo, with, the River Plate.
Yeah.
A player that is pretty much in the same age with Almeyda, but with such a success, like Gallardo got in the last 7 years, because with Nacional he was also champion. As soon as he get out from a player, he got into coaching, got a title with Nacional, go to River, win everything for the last 6.5 years, and he didn't go to the national team because I think the federation is so screwed up in Argentina that not many top coaches wanted to take the Argentinian national team. A lot of people talk about Simeone. Simeone, is making tons of money and in Atletico Madrid. He doesn't want to get involved. Gallardo is so comfortable in River, so comfortable in the sense is not comfortable that he's relaxing, but comfortable in knowing that he's placed in the world and he can do a lot of things there. So he doesn't want to go to the national team. That's why we got Lionel Scaloni, which is no experience pretty much of any coaching, and then he's the coach of the national team. Because we have a lot of problems with the federation. So coming back to the straight answer from your question, he might, but I mean,
not yet.
It's a shot in the dark.
Okay. All right. That gives us a little bit more an insight on how, the things are in Argentina, and maybe if he stays, hey guys, if we don't make the playoffs, maybe he stays, right? So it gives us, hey, I'm a big believer in, if we get media to follow the San Jose Earthquakes, or if we're bad and they say, oh, Almeyda's doing so bad, but we still get those clicks and we still get the revenue of people watching us. I bet you there's a whole bunch of teams in Mexico that didn't know about San Jose until Almeyda went. So I think this is great for the club. I honestly don't know how they landed that big of a fish to begin with. So it's a nice ride as a Earthquakes fan to just be
like
along
I said,
with this.
I don't have a direct line and the people from Orlando, so I have more direct contact with them. That was I think it was a great addition to bring Almeyda to San Jose. But then like you guys are saying, and I saw the questions that the people sent me over in Twitter. The reality of San Jose is tough. I mean, it's a tough situation. You're in a tough situation. You are not on the crest of the wave. You are trying to make things better. Let's be honest. LAFC is in a great position. Even Orlando now with Pareja and the new thing, I see them play, and it's a completely different team, and it's in a very good position. Seattle, we know that they're always there. Columbus is the actual champion, and they did well with all this. So Columbus is in a good position. Those teams are contenders, real contenders. The rest of us are pretenders. And let's try to make it.
Right. And with the team, like, because you cover Inter Miami, with the pocketbooks of David Beckham and in everything that you can do, all the star power. I mean, it must be exciting every year, right? With us, it's is Almeyda leaving to Chile, you know, or are we even gonna have a budget this year? So it's a chicken and the egg story, or what came first, the chicken or the egg? And is there a problem because we're San Jose instead of San Francisco, and we can't sell that many kits and get that many jerseys? But that's our whole identity. We're not San Francisco, we're San Jose, we're this blue collar. But in the global marketing and global aspect of this problem, we're never going to get the funds of marketing and sponsors because we're San Jose instead of San Francisco. So that's just my whole thing on it. I mean, it's the whole chicken and the egg. What's the problem, right? Yeah.
Well, not everybody is New York. Not everybody is LA. That's
but we are San Francisco.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Look, if you put it that way, look at Columbus.
Right,
they
right.
They were about
that's
to
true.
lose the franchise. They were about to lose completely. They have so much turmoil off the field and the ownership and the team that they saved Columbus, and they were almost disappearing, and the franchise are
great story
in Austin and so on. And then all of a sudden they are the champions.
Right.
So not every year, New York never won it.
Right.
Not every year is gonna be, the big cities or the big markets, the ones that are gonna be champions. It's and that's also somehow the parity of the MLS. Being with the salary caps and the structure that they have, and no relegation.
Right.
Somehow, I don't say it's good. I say that the situation is that there is a parity that, pretty much, a lot of teams can become champions. There are, of course, there are some dynasties like this United or the LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
But you can see that Seattle was champion, Columbus was a champion twice already. Yeah. And Houston, the move and everything. They were champions, and so you can see even the Canadian teams. The Canadian teams are also
right.
Toronto got a great run. So we'll see there is hope even for the small markets.
Yeah. Okay, we have a couple of questions left, Fernando, if that's okay. One of the fans asked, why is MLS suddenly selling so much to the bigger leagues while it looks like Liga MX is doing the opposite, right? Instead, they're not really exporting that much talent compared to the MLS while they're buying in talent. What do you think? Why do you think that's happening?
I think there are cycles. You see, there are cycles. The MLS and the US soccer, we didn't have a lot of penetration in terms of sending players, for a long time. And one time we have Brian McBride, Landon Donovan coming for, Dempsey,
Altidore,
Tim Howard, or Altidore, but they were far in between, or one here, one there. They were not on the top team. Many times you didn't know where they were playing because they didn't score every week and they didn't play in the Champions League.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, and they weren't the younger ones. I mean, except Donovan, that he went very young, and or Pulisic went. But this is the new thing. Pulisic is the new ones. When with Pulisic, we started to all of a sudden all these young players, they were going to Europe. And the Pulisic and McKinney and Stephen and Reina and Josh Sargent and then all of a sudden they're playing in the big teams and they scoring with Barcelona twice in a game. So then it's a huge market there, and it's a huge window to see all that. Mexico, not long time ago, we have a lot of players that they were there, Guardado and Jimenez and Chicharito. Chicharito was playing for the biggest teams, Manchester United, Real Madrid. Then in Germany, there were players there, but then all of a sudden, teams in Europe decided to go with younger players from the US. Many of them that they are there in Europe, with at the younger age that they were starting to develop in their academies.
Right.
what happened with Pulisic or with another players, and players that we don't even know their names, and all of a sudden, oh, they are great in Holland,
Right.
or Belgium or whatever, and then, oh yeah, he's the son of a father that was in the Marine and in the military services, and then there are so many names that you never heard before.
Like Munsa, right?
Munsa. Now he's the biggest thing on earth, and Munsa is now. Oh, he decided to go for the U.S. I bet you 99.9% of the people didn't know what Munsa was or where he was playing, and I'm probably there in the 99%.
Yeah. Well, his mom was on vacation in America when she had the baby, so it's like, what?
So you know what I mean? So there are things that sometimes I wouldn't say fashion, but I would say circumstances that it happens. That why all of a sudden all the young U.S. kids are having a great careers in Europe at the early age, and Mexico is not sending players to Europe. But it happens, there are cycles, and many times, it happens also not only with Mexico and the U.S. It happens to Argentina too. Many times we were sending so many, and we're still sending so many players from Argentina to Europe. Then all of a sudden you see that maybe their springboard is in the US or in Mexico, and you see a lot of players that they don't go direct to Europe. Right. Sometimes they come here. The thing with Altamirano, that Almiron, I'm sorry, with Almiron, with Almiron, that he's not Argentinian, but that he came from Argentina. He came to the U.S. Right. He played really well at Atlanta. Then he went to Europe, and now in the beginning he struggled, and now he's playing much better. So Almiron, he passed through U.S. to go to Europe. Right. There are examples of everything. If you look at if you look with a good eye, you will find that there is a lot of different situations that it happens. Sometimes our cycles are cycles. Sometimes who knows when it's going to be the next time that we have so many young U.S. players in Europe, and maybe start a cycle like all the young Argentinians will go to Europe direct. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, and another player I thought was going to make that springboard leap is Pavone. I mean, I know you don't like him; he's from Boca, but he
lost against us all the time. So I don't care much about.
But every time he played us, I mean, he made our backs look silly. Like he looked like insane talent wise. And then another player that we have is Christian Espinoza. He might be in the MVP talks next year because he's a great player. So another I think Boca guy as well. So
yeah, no, well, the case with Pavon, he got problems with Boca and back and forth. Yeah, Schelotto, another young coach that he knew him from his previous team. He brought it also to LA. He did a good job in LA. Maybe it was overshadowed by Zlatan and right. But he did well there. Pavon is a good player. Even though he's from Boca, but but he's a good player. But there they have to be surprises all the time, because sometimes you don't know who's coming, and then all of a sudden he's a great star. And one of them is the Uruguayan Rossi. For me, a great player, great player. And they have a great success career with the Lays. And there are some players that you say, oh my God, he's he came in and then all of a sudden he's a huge star. Right. And I think that Rossi could play in Europe easily. Yeah. He can really go there. The thing with Almiron, it was let me tell you, it was really good, because I saw him. He was a very good player. I remember him from Lanús in Argentina, and he was a really good player. And now there are other players that they come here to US because they know that they have a stability. They might feel that they cannot jump to Europe, because in Europe they're gonna be probably in the bench, because so many stars are going direct to Europe and they still go to the bench. It happened in River, for example, with with Palacios, when they went to Germany, and for us in River Plate, it was the man.
Yeah.
After Pity Martinez, and Pity Martinez came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
For us in River, he was the man.
You're right.
And 2018, the last goal and everything, and he came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
He got the board. He got the board.
That was a crazy story.
And then he ends up now at the end of the world, and we lost him.
Right.
But he's probably making a lot of money.
Right.
He probably not. He's making a lot of money.
So
he's happy there.
Yeah. And Atlanta wipes their hands clean. I mean, pays 18 million, and then this big this Saudi Arabian club just I'll give you 19 million for go.
Yeah, and he was really good, and he passed by the MLS,
right?
With his eyes closed, so there are many circumstances that you don't know how they're gonna develop, in their teams.
No, definitely. And then we have 2 more questions for you, Fernando, if that's okay. This one is
shoot it before I leave.
Okay. Having seen the soccer community grow in the USA over the years within the Latin American community and in the community in this country overall, how excited are you to see USA, Canada, and Mexico host the 2026 World Cup?
It's absolutely fantastic. I think that I was there in 2010, December 2nd. I was in Zurich when FIFA decided. I think they made a big mistake of not awarding the US the 2022 World Cup, and when we know that picking up Qatar and then development, then
right.
In my personal opinion, I think it went to the FIFA gate because of that decision in 2010.
Right.
5 years later, the FIFA gate exploded like a bomb in your hands.
Yeah.
But coming back to your question, is that it's great that I was in Russia on 13th of June 2018 when they announced that U.S., Canada, and Mexico will do the World Cup in 2026, and it's a no-brainer. It's a region that they can organize the very first World Cup with 48 teams, where you will need more stadiums, more training facilities, a great connectivity, good technology. So there are 3 great countries with a lot of resources, and one of the countries, Mexico, with a lot of the passion, right, and then the other 2 countries, especially US. I'm not so familiar with Canadian story of football, but the US with a lot of Latino influx and a lot of US kids that they play the game, and the US girls that they are absolutely fantastic, and you can see their history. And not only at the highest level, but also in the as a kids. So I think it's a great push for the 3 countries. For us specifically, I hope, like I said, I hope that we are not looking forward to 2026 and we start to look what's going on now. And to the beginning of our interview, I feel sorry for, unfortunately, don't get into the Olympics. Yeah. Now, hopefully, we will get to the World Cup in 2022. And then keep developing that passion, of this young league. But the history of soccer in the U.S. it goes all the way back to the early 1900s, and we were there in the very first World Cup in 1930, and we did. Who won that? Who won it? No, unfortunately, from my side of the family and the Argentinian side. But like I said, I'm the biggest supporter that you can find of the soccer in the U.S. and I see the good times now and how we are the good times in terms of soccer and passion and league, and I saw the very bad times when we closed our league in the early 1980s, 1983 when the NASL closed it. I saw that we didn't qualify for '86 World Cup. I saw the good times started in 1990. I saw the very valley not qualifying for the 2018. So. I see them all, man. I wish the best for our community. Right. Okay. And they're talking a little bit about that Argentina Uruguay 2030, right? I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, not an easy task. Not an easy task. Our countries, are suffering in a lot of other aspects, right. And it's going to be more difficult to organize a World Cup with 48 teams when you need a lot of stadium training facilities and a lot of other things. So it's going to be difficult. And it's not an easy task.
They can't play all in Estadio Centenario. Yeah,
that would be nice. That would be nice.
And last question: what was it like working with Alexi Lalas, Stuart Holden, and Rob Stone on Fox?
Yeah, it was absolutely a new thing for me because previous to that, I used to work only in Spanish television for 25 years, and my roots and my audience and my community, and it was a different thing. When they call me to be part of the Fox Sports, I wasn't looking for the crossover like many Latinos wanted to be in Hollywood, or want to sing in English, or want to be working on the general market TV. For me, I was very, very, deeply thankful to all my Latino community and the support that I have for 25 years, almost 27 years. So it was a great opportunity. They call me, I tell them that I was going to bring my own brand, and I wasn't going to change my style. And they say no, that they want me to be like that in Fox Sports. That's perfect, I think it was a great combination. It was a great combination. And the people love it, and they embrace me so well that I love the English-speaking audience, and I love them, and I thank them so much for all the support. Because every time when we did Copa America Centenario 2016, when we did Gold Cup and Confederations Cup in the 2017, when we did the World Cup 2018, when we did the Gold Cup again 2019, and the Women's World Cup, the people they were always supporting me and say, "Oh, we love that you tell Alexi Lalas the way it is, and you don't retreat, and you don't go back, and if you don't," I said, "Listen, that's the way it is. You just mentioned Alexi Lalas, Stuart Holden, and Winalda was in the beginning also when I started with them. Ali Wagner, which is an ex-player. So they're all ex-players,
right? Except
Rob Stone, that is the host of usually the host of the shows. But they were all the other pundits. They were all ex-players. So I was the only one who wasn't an ex-player. Oh, Hercules Gomez was there also.
Yeah, right.
Ex-player. To ESPN. Yeah. Barton, all of them ex-players. So I was the only one who was the voice of the fan.
Right.
And sometimes they think that the only opinion and the only thing is because they were in the locker room, and because they used to play, and because they play at the highest level, in Europe or Olympics or the national team like Lalas and World Cups. And so I respect them very much, but they have a different view that sometimes the fans, we don't have that view.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't study journalism. I'm an actor. I study different things. So I'm a fan first, and I have a different point of view. But I've been doing communications much longer than they did altogether. So I have another view. You know what I mean? And if I didn't agree with what Lalas was saying, or Holden was saying, and that's why we clashed many times, because I remember last 2 years ago when Stuart Holden told me, "Oh no, the Gold Cup, we are doing great, but we are doing." I said, "Stuart, the fans don't like the U.S. national team in this Gold Cup. We barely beat teams that they don't mean much in the whole world, and we get to the final and we lost." After I say that, no, you don't understand, because I'm an ex-player and I know what's going on. And dude, I don't have to be an ex-player. I see the fans in the stands, and we don't like this team. And we don't like what Greg Berhalter is bringing. No, Greg Berhalter is having an idea and said, "Listen, we don't like the team. We're not in love with this team." Fast forward a week, we lost the final. With Mexico on our soil, in Chicago, in our stadiums, with the support of our fans. And now I saw him yesterday also trashing the whole situation of the Olympics that they are not going. So sometimes you know, they have a different perspective that you have to balance in the broadcasting. That's
Right.
why you can't have all ex-players.
Right.
Because all ex-players, I bet you none of them sat not even 1/10 of the times in the stands watching a game like I did, because they were playing, they were on the field, and then when they become pundits, they were from the cabin, you know, doing the game. But I sat on the stand for many years, and I still do. Even though when I'm going to work, I still go and sit in the stands with the fans to see what they say, to talk to them. They don't do that. So it was a great experience, and hopefully it will be a great experience. I work in freelance with them. The thing is that I live in the East Coast, they are in the West Coast, so it's difficult for me to go and do weekly shows. They have Maurice Edu, another one, ex-player.
Yeah, right.
All ex-players. Kobe Jones,
right?
Tony Meola. I work with all ex-players. You know, they have a different view.
Right,
even when we went to the World Cup in 2018, we have the show at night. They always all ex-players. We have different views, and that was fine. That was the balance. Maybe they didn't like it much that I was, but as an ex-player, the people love them.
We loved it,
Every time I was going to the stage, said, tell Lalas the way it is. He's annoying. I said, hey, listen, I respect Lalas. He's a great ex-player. He got his point of view, and I love the guy. And I think that it's great that we have different points of view. But I was very surprised that a lot of people love the actual situation that I was, telling the way we thought as fans, and that it was a different opinion, and that shows in the Fox Sports broadcasting that it was a completely different thing when I was, mixing with them, and not only the voice of an ex-player,
right. And
I love the guys. I love Rob Stone. I love Lalas. I love Stuart Holden. I love all Hercules Gomez and Winalda and all of them. But if I don't think like them, I will let them know, because that's what I think. And it's funny because when I first approached my bosses in Fox the first time, I said, listen, I don't gonna go and fight Lalas just because I want to fight him. If I agree with him, I will agree. That's it. So it's not gonna be staged. This is not gonna be, I'm the good guy, the bad guy, and
that's good.
Fight to create audience. No. If I agree with him, fine. If I don't agree, we'll have our differences.
Okay, I chose that gift perfectly.
I hope we can do it again. I hope we can do it again. We have the 2022 World Cup. We have the Gold Cup. We have the 2026 World Cup. So hopefully we can work together again. Unfortunately, we didn't do that in 2018. In 2018, after the good run, the pre-run of the World Cup, that I have the chance to be in the games with them, then in 2018, I wasn't included in with the broadcast of the games itself. I had the show at night, but I didn't have the chance to interact with them during the games. So in my personal opinion, I think that we lost that thing that the audience loved it. We finished the game, and before the game, Argentina, US, Copa America, Centenario. Oh no, US is gonna win. Lalas, oh, US is gonna win. Holden, oh, US is gonna win because we are here. Alain Wagner, oh, US is gonna win. Fernando Fiore. I said, guys, I think that we have a better team. Argentina got Messi, and team we're gonna. No. I was the only one who picked Argentina 4-1 or 4-0. Say, guys, I mean, I understand that we cheer for our team because I'm American. I live more years in America than in Argentina, so I love US and I love to be here. I have my US passport, but we have to cheer until one point.
No, but
so we'll see. We'll see what happens now.
It's funny because in Latin America, or in at least Latin communities, you love that, right? You love to see the passion in fighting, right? The entertainment and having different opinions, but maybe they were thinking the English media likes, feeling.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing. Like I say, I respect them all. Yeah. I have a different opinion, and I don't do fights just for entertainment, to do ratings. I do it when it's the right thing to do, and if I think that my opinion is different.
Yeah.
But, here we go.
Yeah, but Fernando Fiore, it's been a great time. Thank you so much. I mean, you from the mate to the Inter Miami to the beach. I mean, everything. It's been a pleasure. Are you coming to Tokyo or you?
Arigato.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because first of all, see that the Olympics they don't gonna leave people from outside Japan to visit. And unless Telemundo hires me and send me there, I don't think I had a chance. I love the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I went to different Olympics, especially I remember the one in England that were fantastic. I was here in '96 also. I went to a lot of venues, but this year it's very complicated. And
because of COVID, yeah. But
yeah, we COVID and Telemundo got the rights, so I don't think that I will be involved into that.
And I mean, we don't make too much money, but I'll fly you out here, Fernando. We'll do our little show.
Count me in.
Yeah, right.
Count me in.
Maybe if I throw in some mates in there, you know. Maybe.
Yeah, and look for Just for Men. Maybe they can sponsor us.
Yeah, you know what. But I'm actually gonna work on getting you a there you go, Just for Men. I'm gonna work on trying to get you at least a contact with Almeyda because you should. I mean, you're Fernando Fiore, so I'm gonna email them, make sure that happens. But maybe we get Just for Men to sponsor a flight out to Tokyo. I mean, I can just say, sos mi tío, you know, we got to get it happening.
Very good.
Thank you so much for coming on. And all the fans really appreciate you taking the time out of your really busy day and answering all of our questions.
Gracias. Mira, se está por terminar el partido, mira.
Muchísimas gracias, Fernando. And all we have to say is go Earthquakes and Miami, right?
Ah.